Hi everybody, it's Guru Bob and welcome to this 30-day challenge pre-season video on Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a free tracking service provided by Google that we can use to track the type and nature of traffic coming to our websites. In addition, it can give you some very useful insight into the types of keywords that people are searching in the search engines which bring them to your site. And if you're tracking these sorts of things and making changes over time, then those changes will be impacted in the type and nature and the quantum of the traffic you're receiving, and it will make your ability to judge the quality of your improvements much easier if you're actually tracking using a service like Google Analytics. And by introducing it here in pre-season, we've got a chance to sort of overview the Google Analytics interface and show you how easy it is to install the code. We will be using Google Analytics in this year's 30-day challenge as we did last year, but we're introducing it here in pre-season just to sort of briefly overview the interface and make it a bit more efficient during the challenge itself. So without further ado, let's go to the screen. The web address to access Google Analytics is www.google.com/analytics. And it'll bring you to this page here. If you haven't already signed up for a Google account, or have signed up for a Google account, if you click up Sign Up Now, either there's a link here to go and set up an account, or you can enter your Google account details here. Another way, if you already have a Google account, is to click on the Access Analytics button and enter your account details. And you will get access to Google Analytics. This account here, this 30-day challenge account, was set up last year to track the traffic coming to the Vintage Electric Guitar blog, which was our example site for last year's 30-day challenge. And I'm going to use this as an example to go through Google Analytics today. Now, if you haven't already set up a site inside Google Analytics, it's fairly straightforward. You just need to click and add a website profile. You can have as many website profiles in a Google Analytics account as you wish, and each one of those could be for a different site sitting on the same domain as another site or on different domains. So if we click on Add a Website Profile here, just to show you how to do this, we either add a profile for a new domain or an existing domain. We're going to come up with a dummy domain here, we'll call it domain.com. Pick a time zone and a country and click Finish. Google Analytics will then set up the profile and give you some code that you can use to paste into your site. Every profile has a unique Google Analytics ID which separates that profile from any other site that you might be tracking. Now, the basic principle behind Google Analytics is it will track traffic for any page that has this code sitting on it. In the 30-day challenge, we're going to be using blogs as the main thing, and we're going to be the blogs that we're having have a default plugin, which means that we only really need to use the UID here. But if you're wishing to track traffic to a static website, something that you may have coded, or if you've had somebody else code for you, not a blog, the way you set up Google Analytics is to copy this code here and paste it into every page on your site that you want tracked, and you would paste it into the position on the page immediately above the closing body tag of your web page. So you would paste this into every site that you want tracked. Very straightforward. Now, having pasted the code onto those pages, we need to make sure that Google Analytics has then recognized that code exists. And the way I do that is go to the profile that I've just set up, click on the Edit button, and there's up here on the top right hand corner there's a check status, which will then cause Google Analytics to check whether it can find any pages on your site which have that code pasted in. Now, it's no good me clicking that here because I don't have a domain.com, but that's how we would do it to check that everything's okay. When Google Analytics recognizes the code, you will see a checkbox here next to your site under the status column.
All right, well, I'm just going to delete that profile that I set up there because that's not going to be of any use to me in this account. And let's go and have a look at Google Analytics for the Vintage Electric Guitar blog. Two ways of accessing that: either click on the View Report link, or you can select the drop-down box here if you've got multiple websites installed in your Google Analytics account. The first page that you'll come to is a dashboard, which is a brief summary of some of the useful traffic information that Google Analytics is tracking for your account. Now, the first time you log in, it is going to give you information for the past 30 days. You see here May 22nd to the 21st. You can click on that down arrow there and change the time period with which Google Analytics displays data. And at the very top of the dashboard display, you'll see the number of visits by day to your site. You can see that our blog is getting somewhere between 30 and 80 searches a day over the last 30 days. Then a summary of visits per 30 days, page views, number of pages that people view per visit, the bounce rate, average time on the site, and the percentage of traffic that represents new visits as distinct from returning visitors. The bounce rate, for those of you who don't understand, is the percentage of people that come to your site and then leave immediately, going either by clicking the back button, closing the window, or clicking to a link and leaving the site to go to another website. Now, obviously, bounce rate is should be somewhat indicative of the nature of the site you have. If you've got an affiliate review site, then you would expect the bounce rates to be high because you're trying to get the traffic off your site as quickly as possible and off to the site where the visitor can either buy or find out more information about the affiliate product you're promoting. But if you've got a community site or some sort of information site where you hope to retain that visitor for the longest period of time, then you want those bounce rates to be lower and preferably as low as possible. So you're going to be monitoring your bounce rate as an indication of how well the site is performing relative to the site's purpose. We've got an overview, visitor overview here, which is somewhat same as the information displayed at the top. A map overlay showing the principal areas where the traffic's coming from. Summary of where our traffic's coming from, either as being referring sites, other websites, search engines, or direct traffic. And then an indication here, brief indication of the top 4 or 5 pages on our domain that people are visiting. So it's just a brief summary page. Now, to get more specific information about all of these things, we would click on the links on the left-hand side here. And you can see there are 4 main links: visitors, traffic sources, content, and goals. I'm not going to be going much into goals today. Let it be said, though, that you can set up tracking goals for your website, which Google Analytics then monitors relative to the actual traffic you're receiving. There's also some quite extensive custom reporting functionality. If there's some very, very arcane thing that you want to find out about your site, then you can set up custom reports to deliver that. But let's have a look at the first 3 links here. First, we'll click on the visitors link. And the goal of this part of Google Analytics is to sort of get a sense of the type and the nature of visitors that are coming to your site, both in terms of the numbers and their demographic breakdown. So you can see a little bit more information about the quantity of visitors and so forth, and how long they spend on the site. Down the bottom here, we can see that the type of browsers that the visitors are tending to use. You can see we've got a very high proportion of Firefox users. And if I click on the View Full Report, it would show a more detailed list of the breakdown of different browsers. Similarly, we can get a sense of the nature of their connection speeds of the users. But we can also get a breakdown of the proportion of new versus returning visitors, what languages, which is sort of similar to what countries they're coming from. There is, of course, a much more detailed map overlay here, where we can get a breakdown of traffic per country in terms of the number of visitors, pages per visit, and so forth. Very, very detailed. And if I showed more rows here, I'd get a breakdown all the way down to the finest and smallest number of clicks. So that's visitors. If we go on to traffic sources, we can get a more specific breakdown of exactly where the traffic is coming from, which search engines, which websites, and so forth. And more importantly here, we can get a full report of which keywords people are entering into the search engines from which they find a link to our site and click through to the site. Naturally, the blog is about vintage electric guitars, so indeed we're having some success here because the bulk of our traffic is coming, at least as far as the search engine is concerned, from people searching on the key phrase vintage electric guitar. But there are other semantic key phrases that people are searching on where they're also finding a link to our site, like antique guitars, guitar blog, Gibson Falcon, and so forth. Now, the value in actually monitoring the keywords that people are using to find their way to your site via the search engines is that if the search engines are already sending you traffic for a particular keyword, but you don't have any optimized content on your site for that keyword, then if you were to go and publish some optimized content for a keyword, then Google and Yahoo and so forth are probably going to give you a better ranking for that keyword. And if they're already sending you traffic now, with a better ranking, they will send you more traffic. So monitoring your keyword list in Google Analytics is a way of giving you suggestions for things that you might want to publish content on to get more traffic. So that's traffic sources. If we go into the content area of the site, we can get a sense of what are the most popular pages on the site that are receiving traffic, but we can also get an indication of how people are navigating the site through the navigation analysis, where people are entering the site, and where they're leaving the site, and so forth. So this here is a way of optimizing the success of your sort of site navigation and traffic management once people come to your site. So I hope you can see that Google Analytics offers a tremendous amount of information that helps you not only manage the development of your site and the evolution of the site, but also allows you to help you optimize new content for the site, but also assess how efficient you've been at getting ranking and traffic for content that's already on the site. You track the site to learn about what's happening so that you can then manage your site more effectively to get better rankings and more traffic as time goes by. That's the purpose. Well, that's a brief overview of Google Analytics. We will be using Google Analytics in the 30-day challenge in relation to the blog we'll be asking you to set up, but we'll be doing that via a plugin, which makes it a little bit easier to set it up. If you don't have a website, or if you have a static website and you're not tracking, then I highly suggest you consider using Google Analytics. It's very easy to do, and it offers you tremendous insight into the type and nature of the traffic that your websites are receiving.